Hi, good morning. It's 9:10-ish. I'm chewing gum on camera. I shouldn't be doing that. Anyway, this one's for my sister, Ruth. So I know this sounds kind of crazy, but Ryan visited me this Christmas and he has gifts for each of my family members. And here's yours. I was healed of my cancer miraculously. They found over a dozen tumors in January last year when I was diagnosed, or not diagnosed, they didn't do a diagnostic yet, they didn't do biopsy. They did a, I can't get the camera to stay steady, there we go. They didn't do a needle aspiration biopsy yet at that point because they had just found them. And they wanted to see how many there were, what they were looking like, categorized as, and then I was referred to UVA by to an endocrinologist who then sent me to head and neck surgery, and they did the biopsy. So I realized that a lot can change in 6 months, but usually cancer gets worse. When they did the ultrasound at UVA, they only found 4. Mom and Dad were there, so they were present at this miracle, and it was incredible. That, first of all, I've seen a lot of cancer patients. I've never seen cancer regress without treatment, especially when you're not doing anything specifically to cause a regression. Then the fact that there were only 4 was a miracle in and of itself. There used to be one when I would swallow right here. I could feel it. It wasn't there anymore. Even the cystic one, which cystic means it's filled with fluid, and that disappeared, which can happen. That one can happen. The others were fibrous. So there's no explanation for how this happened. Then not only did my tumors disappear, the over a dozen went down to 4. Then by the time they did the biopsy, there were only 2 that they could find. They did 4 passes of the one, which sucks. I'm sorry that you're gonna have to go through that. I guess you already did probably. That part really sucks. I was kind of out of it for a week. I couldn't sleep. I mean, I couldn't stay awake. I was sleeping a whole lot, and then it came back negative, which was good. So I know that yours was not negative. Yours was positive, and I'm very sorry for that. But Ryan's gift to each of us, I guess, is going to be revealed to me as it kind of comes. But he wanted me to tell you that all things are possible through God. It's amazing. It is. I never bought the bullshit that Mom and Dad sold. I never believed in any of this stuff back then. And every time I would figure something else out on my journey, I would cough up a huge chunk of disgusting phlegm that was stuck in my chest. And every time it was full of tar from the years and years of smoking. And it was incredible. As I was spitting it out into the sink, I was like, there's no way that this is possible. And I remember that when Ryan went through boot camp, he was gassed. And he talked about how it made him vomit up this shit in his lungs. And I was like, kind of sounds like that healed any kind of cancer that might have been growing in there. And he's like, yeah, I kind of feel like it did. And then he was smoking again. And I was like, kind of fucked that up, huh? And he was like, yeah. Well, I figured, whatever. I'm starting from, beginning. I was like, yeah, I guess so. So it's really incredible. So I know that y'all have had a lot of really fun bullshit to say about me. You kidnapped my kids one day. I don't forget that. I remembered that the other day. I was telling my viewers. And I forgive you for all of it. I really do. Just like I forgave the man who violently raped me a few weeks ago. Almost, it was less than a week. It was before he brought my car back. I had forgiven him. And I wrote out the story of what he did to me from my perspective, and then I sat there after doing that and thought of it from his perspective. And there's no amount of screaming and crying and yelling, no, please stop hurting me, that could ever validate what he did to me. But the sun is shining on me. But what I do want to say to you is that though all things are possible through God, you have to believe. That's the catch. There's no catch-22 in it, but you do have to believe strongly enough and trust. Trust that God will heal. It's hard to do when you're dealing with cancer, losing your kids, losing your husband, losing your home, being arrested for things you didn't do, thrown under the bus for things that you certainly didn't have any part in. You can get the light. There we go. But I didn't harbor the hatred or anger in my heart that I thought I would. And once I let go of anger, envy, and fear, sadness, and envy, and I kept anger around in the back. I don't know if you've watched Inside Out, Ruth, but you should. It's an incredible movie. It explains psychology to people who might not understand things. But that is how our brains are run. And anyway, I just had faith that I've never had before while dealing with all of this. And in the meantime, I was having a horrible time with my boyfriend. We were breaking up because he felt like I cheated, which I didn't, but I understand why he felt that way. And what's incredible about that too is that through our breakup and through our loss, I've learned a lot about myself in a way that I wouldn't have if I hadn't spent some time alone. So this has already gone on a little longer than I wanted it to, but I want you to understand that the reason I'm telling you all of this is not because I want you to feel like, oh, well, she's bragging because she got healed of her cancer and I'm still dealing with mine. It's because I want you to understand that as somebody who never believed in God the way that Mom and Dad taught us to, and as somebody who, man, my room, I can't get this lighting right. Anyway, as somebody who, I wanted you to see my face because it didn't look like I was, not wearing makeup, but I'm not. I'm not wearing any makeup. I did put some lipstick on. But I'm happier now. I look tired because I am. I was woken up a bunch of times last night. People keep showing up in my house in the middle of the night. It's really annoying. But there we go. But not only was I healed of that, I feel like I look better than I've ever looked before. And I am healthier even though I've struggled with this eating disorder that isn't really an eating disorder that I want, that I'm body dysmorphic or whatever. It's because I can't eat from the stress. And I don't know if I starved the cancer out. I don't know what I did. But whatever I did, I just trusted in God. And my car is gone again. The same dude who raped me came and stole my car again. And I've just been sitting here trusting, and everyone's like, why haven't you called the police? And I said, because the police don't do anything other than throw this guy in jail. And he's not going to learn anything in jail. Karma's going to come and give him a big old spanking. And I really believe that. I actually told him that. I said, I've forgiven you for the rape. Now, the fact that you've stolen my car again, I don't really want to know what kind of cosmic smackdown you're going to get, but God doesn't take too kindly when people fuck with his chosen people. And, which is ironic because I've realized that the meek that shall inherit the earth are the people who have been abused for years and years and years, like me. You tried to sleep with my boyfriend in high school. Houston told me many times. One time you showed up in the middle of the night in a tent that he and David were sleeping in the middle of the cow field, and you tried to hook up with my boyfriend. That's fucked up, Ruth. So I'm not saying that you deserve cancer. I'm not. I'm saying you need to repent for what you've done. You need to forgive yourself too. And that's part of repenting. Saying, I'm sorry and I made a mistake. And here's me. Humbled. And I did that. And I've been healed of all of my illnesses. Even my mental illness. Do I still get high every once in a while? When the opportunity presents itself. I'm not addicted like I was at one point. I'm certainly not as addicted as I was to alcohol. But anyway, I'm just hoping that you understand that Ryan gave me this gift so that I could share it with my family. And then I'm going to share it with the world. I found an investor to believe in one of my projects enough that he said, I see your vision and I see why you're having such a hard time articulating it to people. I'm going to help you with this portion because I know this portion. And you got the rest of it, girl. You got this. You can do it. And he believed in me enough that I could believe in myself again. So, Ruth, I forgive you for what you've done to me. You need to apologize. Mom and Dad taught us that. Because before I forgave you, I said, I forgive her. And I didn't really. I remember I said, what if you don't? And Mom and Dad was like, you do it anyway. You say it. Because you gotta let it in you. You gotta let it come into you before you can really forgive. I didn't understand that as a 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 4-year-old. I understand it now. I'm not gonna get the opportunity to teach my children that because of your stupid bitch ass. Oh, by the way, I forgive you. I still think you're a cunt. But maybe I won't once you actually are sorry for the things that you've done. I find it wildly ironic that you got thyroid cancer of all types. Do you not see the irony? Anyway. Merry Christmas. I'm glad I wasn't there to see you and your family that you love so much. Ruth, I don't have anything else to say because now I'm starting to get angry again. See, I held on to the anger. Didn't hold on to the jealousy, fear, or sadness of it. Held on to a little bit of that anger because you deserve it. You absolutely do. I don't deserve anything that y'all have given me. And by y'all, I mean you as a society. I'm getting big picture now. Yeah. I didn't know I was pretty. I didn't. I had no idea. Incredible. And I wasn't very pretty when I was younger. I am now. I had 5 young men show up at my house last night. One of them humped me for a second. I was like, please stop. I love you, but please don't hump me again. Especially not in front of your buddies. He's like, I can't help it. You're so pretty. I was like, I know. He's only 21, by the way. I have an 18-year-old hitting me up all the freaking time. Oh, that poor boy. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know. He's in love with me. And he's like, I don't know why I'm in love with you. I was like, I don't either. Just go talk to your mom or something. But, I got another dude asleep in my bed right now because he showed up and he was like, hey. I was like, hey, I'm going back to sleep. And then he did. So, I'm up now. Just remember, Ruth. You can have the life you always imagined. Not leaving your husband, not any of that shit, because I miss my kids to fucking death. But I will tell you that if you trust in God, even when you do stupid shit, you're forgiven. You gotta stop doing stupid shit. You gotta stop being spiteful as fuck. You gotta stop talking to my ex-husband and telling him every fucking thing. Because that man is an evil you don't even want to know about. I know about it. That's why I stayed with him for 8 years. Yeah. Yeah, he's that scary. This was a life-altering decision that I had to make on my own. And I did. And I did not ask for help because I knew that there was no amount of help anyone could give me to get out of that. I still am not out of it. I'm trying. And I love Keith to death because I don't think it's his fault that he's a psychopath. But that psychopath won't let me talk to my kids and has Landon convinced I'm a monster. His mother helped him fuck with my head by sending me a picture that's up there that I'm not going to share, of me aged 30 years. Somebody said, I said 20, and this guy's like maybe 30 or 50. And I was like, thanks. And Olivia aged as well. And Landon's not in the picture, but there's handwriting on the back that's very distinctly his mom's. So not only is he trying to fuck with my head, she's condoning it and helping him. And you have been too, whether you meant to or not. The thing is, I struggle with the meant to or not. If you are meaning to, then you definitely need to repent. If you're not meaning to, you probably need to listen. Because all this karmic bullshit that you are getting, and why me? I lost my baby, now I'm pregnant again, and now I've got cancer. Fetuses typically have a really hard time with radiation. I know this because I'm an educated woman who specializes in early childhood development. Also, I'm pretty sure that your second child not only has lead poisoning, but is probably fetal alcohol syndrome. Probably better get that checked. Whatever, doesn't matter. That's our Christmas gift to you, Ryan and I. Be a better person, Ruth. The world deserves to have a few less shitty people in it. We don't want to rid the earth of you. We want to rid the earth of the evil that you spew. Merry Christmas!